Hey, welcome everybody to Gym Life Podcast special promoter interview and promoting a show that we're quite fond of here on the Gym Life Podcast, as you know. So we brought in George Bullard today, the USS State Chair, and also the promoter of Great Lakes Strongest Man, to get everybody excited and pumped up about a lot of the great things that we got coming on this year with the Great Lakes Strongest Man and a few other key state strongman things going on here in the state of Michigan. George, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, Joe. I wish we had Robbie here.
Yeah, that would complete the trifecta of buffoonery, I think, at that point, right? We'd have too much fun, I think.
You know what? I'll take 2 seconds and say I really appreciate all the kind things that you're saying about me or have said about me and, about the event. And I think the event ran as well as it did because of you guys being there too, as well. I think, you guys are now a cornerstone of Great Lakes. And my favorite thing is listening to Robbie almost every time Great Lakes is brought up about how he knows all the events and
yeah, me too.
Everything like that. So I actually was going to message him before we got on here and ask him, I'll be like, hey, can you write down all the events that they're actually going to be? Because it's news to me.
Yeah, I know. I give him shit about that. I told him last show, I said, I don't even want to guess anymore. Yeah, no, we appreciate it, man. George, we speak awful highly of your show. But it's easy for us to do. We've got our eyes on a lot of shows nationwide, and it's real easy to see who the great promoters are. And just by default, man, you happen to be 3 hours away from us, and we got to enjoy a great experience with you up there last year. And we're certainly looking forward to it this year. I know this is a big year for Great Lakes, so we came in just at the right time because I know today you're going to be sharing some fun stuff with us about that event this year. Why don't we start with the date and what we got in store as far as the dual competition you have up there this year.
Yeah. So Great Lakes this year, along with USS Worlds, is going to be September 17th at Turtle Creek Stadium. So as you can see, I got my Pit Spitter swag on, as I appreciate the Great Lakes shirt.
Yeah, right.
No, that group, they couldn't have been more welcoming of it. And I know you guys had mentioned it in a previous podcast. It's like, not everybody has the availability of having a minor league, affiliate baseball stadium to be at. And I'm more than grateful for the space that they have, but the hospitality they have. I think you may have seen it. The guy that runs the show there, he was out on the field helping break down platforms and help move weight. I mean, he was the last one there, obviously, but he was loading sandbags in the back of my trailer and helping getting that going. So when you have a community and a group like the Pit Spitters that I can work with, I think that reflects in the show that you're going to have. But of things to note on there as well, the way that the event's going to be ran this year is going to be a little bit more special. So I think anybody looking at the event, they'll say, oh, it was successful. You had so many competitors and it was done in such a lot at a time. And I looked back at it and I'm like, what did we miss? What did we miss? What were we successful at? And one of the things that I noticed was looking back at pictures, video is, yeah, people were attentive to what was going on the field, but a lot of people wanted to see the park. The park is great.
Right.
I mean, you were there. I think it's a beautiful area.
Yes.
There was a lot of people up in the walkways and everything like that. So the way I changed it up is we are going to have Great Lakes is going to start at 9 a.m. So we are going to start hopefully having 3 events out of the way before we start USS Worlds at noon.
Okay.
USS Worlds at noon is going to be right in the middle of the mix. So we are going to have all 5 events for Worlds already set up in the walkway with the rest of the vendors and up in the stations area in that walkway when you come in.
Yeah.
So
that concourse area you're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So when you come in and you're able to watch Great Lakes, you can sit and watch Great Lakes and there's going to be no downtime. We kind of want that to keep rolling. We want that to feel more of like kind of that expo feeling. If you can kind of see where I'm trying to go down the road. Mm-hmm. But this way it allows you to go and see World's competitors and it'll be barricaded right there. So you can be sitting right next to your vendor looking at shirts and then go and be right there in the middle of the mix watching, a couple guys battle it out.
Okay.
in that area. So everything's going to be going on all at once. It's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of noise, a lot of moving parts, but I'm beyond excited about, some of the people that are going to be there, some of the sponsors that we already have. Um, it's going to be cool.
Yeah,
It's gonna be
you
really
knocked
cool.
it out of the park last year with your sponsors, and I've made mention to it before on many shows, not just in part with your show, but it's not an easy task getting on board the amount of sponsors and quality sponsors that you did last year. It sounds like you're repeating that already again this year. A lot of these people have already committed to be back on. To no surprise, the Pit Spitters, of course, invited you back as well. I know there was a moment there we weren't quite sure, but it seems like you hit that out of the park with them. What was their response coming into it this year? And were there any limitations that they placed on you with the size of the event? Because you're essentially doubling the size of the event this year.
Um, I, I don't know how to best word this. They really, I should really say Kendall, um, who is the event director, event manager there. Um, I think he was more so leading me on, thinking that I had mentioned it pretty much every time that I talked to him during the event. And I'm like, oh, if we are back next year, if we're back next
Right.
year. And so he kind of ribbed me that whole time. But, once we actually got done with the event, he walked through and looked at the grounds, and a real big kudos to everybody that competed, and volunteers and everybody for respecting the field as much as I asked them to. But they had concerts in, they had Nitro Circus, all these other things that kind of sandwiched in. And, he was like, you guys took better care of the field than,
Oh, nice.
than we,
Right.
Not that we expected, but, than some others. And so when I came back and was like, all right, this is my idea, they're like, okay, we know that you're going to put things in place to make sure that stuff
Right.
is safe. And, and I try to be as transparent as possible. And even when we're doing our contracts, so we have written contracts, I want everything right there. So we're not questioning what isn't on the field.
Right.
So even for the amount of thickness of platforms that we have on there, I had that already all contracted out. And they're great. I mean, they had a bunch of people from their front office that were there that day that I've been hearing about it. What I love is when I'm talking to people and they're saying, oh, I was at the airport wearing a shirt or whatever. And, I was wearing a Pit Spitter shirt. Somebody had messaged me that and they were like, oh, Great Lakes happened there. I'm like, I'm not on that level. We were there for a day.
Yeah.
But they really want us to be a staple there. And I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
And I'm somebody that likes to plan ahead. So not only am I doing that, but I already have plans for the next 2 Great Lakes. So hoping that continues happening there.
Well, it's a unique opportunity because there's not a lot of promoters in general that have the availability of such a tremendous venue. That's really a pro series type venue right there. So it's giving you the latitude to really think outside the box now, which has got to be a lot of fun. I know last year's competition ended up with roughly 150 competitors. I know one of the things that kind of bummed you out last year was the fact that the Canadians weren't able to cross over to compete. Does that mean we're going to open up the amount of athletes then this year, along with this USS World's athletes? What are you anticipating?
I would my goal and my hope is that we can hit that 150 mark again and kind of go from there. I'm some people say I'm trying to be modest about it or whatever, but I still look at it as I'm very grateful for the numbers that we were able to hit, with people being able to compete. And I don't want to expect that every year, but I am going to do what I can to make that possible. And if we can hit 150, or even go higher than that, I can accommodate that. And I'm accommodating for 200 with the hopes of 150.
Gotcha.
And with Worlds we'll make Worlds whatever we get with Worlds.
Right,
I think we're gonna have a good turnout. I've already had quite a few conversations with people from that are qualified for Worlds. We do have a former World's Strongest Man competitor that is already talking about committing to Worlds.
Oh, great.
So that's going to be fun.
Yeah. Well, it's a great destination up there. I mean, another thing that you got going for you in Traverse City, and if you haven't been to Traverse City, and most of us have that live within 10 hours of the community up there, you couldn't pick a better location to host a world type event. How is that going for you as far as your coordination with the city itself to accommodate, these world-class athletes coming in, not to mention all these great amateurs?
It's fantastic. I mean, that's I also think with the sponsors, if you don't have your community kind of getting into it and being involved with it, um, you're not going to have the turnout that you would like, or you're not going to have the experiences that these other athletes are going to have outside of the event. I think the events, it's great, it's entertaining, but I look at Great Lakes as a thank you to everybody that I've competed with over the years. Everybody that I've been involved with the strongman, and people that are coming in brand new. It's really saying thank you for giving me something that I've had great memories with for, wow, like 14, 15
Yeah,
years,
14,
15
15
years.
years. Yeah.
Yeah. And so when I'm talking with these businesses and Travers, and they're all about it, it's like, okay, yeah. In order to talk about sponsors, we included new sponsorship packages this year. So we are going to have a presenting sponsor for Great Lakes in USS Worlds. And I guess I can announce that
Yeah.
I think you met them while we were there, but the Cultura Group,
Okay. Yes. Yep.
the luxury real estate group.
Yep.
So we had our new packages coming out and had sent them out to businesses. I've been kind of trying every day to kind of get through more businesses outside of Travers too, and one of them was the presenting sponsorship, and it took all of 2 seconds of her
Yeah.
and Matt, Abby and Matt getting the email that they were like, oh, we're presenting that hands down.
Right.
So
Wow, that's nice.
so going forward, you're going to see that Great Lakes Strongest Man 2022 and United States Strongman Worlds is going to be presented by the Cultura Group, our luxury real estate group that we have up here. Yeah. And I think that's something to say when you're dealing with a company that's selling $500,000 houses and up, that one of their big promotions, or one of their big things that they like to promote, is a strongman competition.
Yeah,
and
it's interesting.
I laugh at it. I've known Abby for a long time, and Matt, incidentally, I've known him back when I moved up here in 2004. We worked at Target together, seasonal, and I just remembered him over a conversation that I'm not going to repeat. And when I was at Great Lakes, I saw him, and I said, hey, and I mentioned it's not a bad conversation. It's dumb. And I said it, and he's like, oh my gosh, I knew you. And it's kind of funny how that was almost 20 years ago.
Yeah, that relationship was built back then. Yeah.
Yeah. But Abby's been phenomenal. She's a good friend. And she went to first strongman competition, was the one that I had came back to after I tore my tricep. She came and witnessed it and was hooked. Yeah. She loved it. So
yeah, isn't it fun introducing the sport up there in Traverse City, where you're out sort of in the Great White North, and you're introducing such a sort of a interesting sport up there that the community's really gravitated towards. I know when I looked at the audience up there last year, you had 450, 500 plus. I don't even know what it was. It was pretty packed. It looked like a lot of them were there just from the local community that were introduced to strongman for the first time, which is something all of us who support the sport are always trying to, grab a hold of and bring people in and say, hey, you may not compete or know anybody that competes, but this is one hell of a sport to watch.
Yeah, it was. I think our final numbers came around 700.
Yeah, it was busy.
And that's I looking at pictures, it was like, man, I couldn't believe it, because there was a lot of, I don't want to say empty seats, but people were up and moving. And then I got more pictures of the concourse, and that's what kind of made me think. I was like, okay, we need to put something up there. We need to keep, everybody wants to be out and mixing around and checking out the ballpark. I was like, we got to keep something that we're progressing, because I was thinking about times that I'm at like Tigers, when I'm at Comerica. Yeah. When I took my boy there, and I've taken my wife there. I just love walking around the park, and I'm like, you know what, with the vendors that we're planning on having, I think this just fits.
Yeah.
I think this just fits. And we're going to take a new way of promoting it throughout the community this year. I'm hoping that restrictions stay off like they are, and we're able to do more of the cross promotional things that we had planned that we didn't get to do last year to try and get more people in from the community. But
Can you share some of those ideas? Like if in fact we can make them happen?
So one of the things that we have up here, especially during the summer, is like Friday Night Live. So they shut down all of Front Street, and then they'll have bands playing, and everybody has little acts and stuff there. My plan is actually to have some of the equipment down there.
Oh, nice.
And video and everything of that, of what's going on, and try to pass out tickets, giveaways, things that you could do. Like even there's like Captain's a Crush, like just little things that people can do to kind of feel, involved in it and see. Also trying to get more radio, and I limited the amount of marketing that I had for the community because COVID's such a I don't know how I can say this.
An unknown variable.
Yeah, an unknown variable, and I'm somebody that likes to limit the amount of variables that I have and try to have control of that. And with how many tickets I was actually selling at the time, I was like, man, I really hope that it doesn't get too big. I also had a limit on how many spectators that I could have there at that time. So I didn't want it to be too crazy, but I think we could really break the 1,000 spectator mark, and I'm going to try my damnedest to do it too.
Well, it sounds like you left a little bit on the table, and rightfully so, because there was a lot of unknowns with COVID last year. So it's got to excite you a little bit going into this year. If that opens up, those few hundred people are sitting out there. I really love that idea of that Friday night fun up there. What a great way to promote the show the next day, right? Or even a couple weeks out, I guess you could start that, couldn't you?
Yeah. So Friday Night Live, that usually starts in August.
Yeah.
And it's usually, I believe, every Friday in August. So I would try to get to there as much as I can. There's also other businesses that I've been talking with and trying to do little cross promotional things too. As stuff comes up, trust me, you'll hear about it.
Yeah. Well, I can't wait for sure. Well, let's get on to some of that stuff right now. Actually, let's get on to something else first before we start getting into the events of the 2022 Great Lakes Strongest Man. Let's talk about USS Strongman in general in our state, because you're now the new state chair as of last year. And we've got some other shows going on already this year that are booked. One of them is a good friend of ours, Nick O'Hare at Harbor Beach, has got a show coming up. What's your involvement with that, your affiliation?
So yeah, I'm actually super pumped about this event. So if you haven't been to Harbor Beach, which I don't know if a lot of people actually have, out in the thumb, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. And I think Nick is probably next close to being the next mayor there. I mean,
Yeah,
when we ended up camping there during COVID and hanging out, with him and his family, and he was driving around in a golf cart and,
sure.
saying hi to everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the way he has it set up is he has it with the Maritime Festival. So the Maritime Festival is fireworks and concert down there on the beach. And he's always really talked it up. And now that he's been having the meetings with the community there, they want it to be a part of the event. So they actually are blocking out time that, you're going to come down there, you're going to see this event, for Maritime Festival, and then it's
nice
battle on the beach.
Right. Kind of
they're
basically putting focus in on his show for this block of time.
Yeah. And so it's looking like it might be a little bit later in the afternoon, which is not bad. It's going to help with parking. I know I talked with him with the room blocks and, stuff that he set up. And, I'm excited about him as being a promoter. He's as detailed and stuff that he has nailed down for just his competing in general and how he presents himself. I mean, even running stuff with his family and what him and his wife do. Him as a promoter, he's starting to pick up those little details.
Yeah.
And, what I really done with him is just kind of help guide his ideas and see where he wants to go and just help with little details. And that's gonna be fun. I'm gonna be there. I believe I'm gonna be judging there. I know some of the other people that are going to be coming to help volunteer. We'll have some people that were from the Great Lakes that are going to come and help volunteer. But I mean, he's going to do a tire flip in the sand. That
Oh boy.
I want, where have we seen that before?
Yeah, right. It's been a while. Yeah.
I wonder where he got that idea.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's doing a tire flip in the sand with 2 sandbag carry afterwards. He's gonna have the car deadlift right there with that backdrop of the water. I'm actually super jealous. So he's gonna have that backdrop there. I'm in talks with another group that's looking at putting up a competition in Kalamazoo around August.
Good.
And I'm really just throwing that out there. If anybody that's thinking about, dipping their feet in the water of trying to promote a contest, I am 100% behind you, and whatever I can do to help out. I mean, that's part of what I have to do as a state chair, but 2 is, I miss there being competitions. There are more competitions in Michigan.
Yeah.
And there's a rich history of strongman here in Michigan. Yeah, I mean, you're involved in that, and I think we can retell that story with more competitions and more people really getting involved in it.
Yeah,
and
I agree. I agree totally. And it was nice to see that Nick, because Nick, it was just a matter of time, really, a natural evolution for him to actually do a show out there. What a great backdrop in Harbor Beach. But I was really excited to see that, because like you, I noticed a bigger fall off of shows. And I was real curious, and I made mention to it on another show, when we were going to start seeing some of these other newer promoters step up and start promoting, so we could have a bit more opportunity in the state for our competitors, and not only that, the Midwest community. So yeah, good for Nick. So that's awesome. It's going to be fun to see that. Yeah, we'll be there for sure, of course, in some capacity or another.
Awesome.
Well, what a great year he's had, by the way. Let's take a moment here to talk about Nick's year and what he's getting ready for in 2022 to defend and do these other competitions. That's a lot on his plate, but I have no doubt he'll be able to handle it all.
Yeah, I mean, I think he craves it. And I actually just, one of our good friends, he had come over last night and we started talking about Nick. And I remember Nick, like at the very, very beginning of his strongman career, and just, I don't want to say him being too modest or whatever for what he was, but you could see that trajectory of where he was going. And we were both talking about that, and he couldn't see it. He just wanted to build. And so he kept his head down and build. Now you can kind of hear him talking a little bit like that, and you could see the confidence behind him. And I think it's an understatement to how much work he puts in and how strict he is. Like, it's obnoxious, but I think the reason why it's so obnoxious is because there's jealousy in my part that I wish I had
a lot of people,
the control, the determination that he has, and he does it, and he makes it look effortless. And I think that's when you got somebody that's just mastering his craft.
Yes.
That's where I think where you can lead him into and say, hey, you promoting a contest? Yeah, I think you could do that, because what you're going to see at his contest is what he wants to do.
Right.
Like what he wishes he could be doing.
Yes.
And I'm trying to do the same thing. I think you can kind of see that with Great Lakes. These are events like I would love to be doing. So it's like, it's the right guy.
It's a fun evolution to see. Like you just said, I couldn't have said it any better. Nick's he's that kind of individual, and he's going to do that with anything he touches. And I know this show is going to be great. Let's get on to the highlight of the evening, if we will here. We've been waiting and we've been talking on the show, as you know, and everybody's been speculating, not only about who's going to come to the show and compete. We'll talk about that and have some fun with that guy in a minute. But your events have been kind of under lock and key for a while. Are we ready to talk about these events?
I mean, I guess I could throw a few out there.
Could you throw a few out there? Where do you want to start?
I think
I just want to start with these amateurs and let them know what they're going to be dealing with this year, and then we'll get to the icing on the cake.
You know what's funny about that? And I've been watching the podcast. You might say I'm a fan. I don't know if it's just for the simple fact that you guys have just absolutely amazing interviews out there, but you guys say the most wonderful things about me. So it's
We
kept me
only speak the
around.
truth on the show, though. We want you to know that. We only speak the truth.
Oh, man. So we'll get to Great Lakes, but the thing about
Okay.
it is, yeah, it's as an amateur show. This is the one thing that I know that you've kind of been discussing is seeing all these pro level guys that are out competing and seeing what their schedule's like. And I'll tell you what, if we can get amateur shows up and built up like we are trying to, these are giving more platforms to people that, we had people that were competing at OSG, that competed at Great Lakes,
Right.
still,
Right.
we have people that, are winning nationals that are competing at Great Lakes. And as Nick, if you ask Nick about it, I know his coach is like rolls eyes and gets a little frustrated with the fact that he picks up these extra events, but he'll tell you he uses them as like training up to his next event. I mean,
Right.
think about when you were doing strongman, or I have talked to Barkley and Aaron West and Jared Spybrook and all these guys that were competing, Willie, back in there in the group, and they were talking about how they would pile in cars and go compete,
Yeah,
every weekend,
that's right.
all
Yep.
over the place. And so now you're seeing people that they're picking 2 or 3 shows a year. I understand that I understand the financial burden. I miss doing multiple competitions because it kept me in shape all year.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So, no, I'm super excited about Great Lakes this year. So the first event that we'll talk about for Great Lakes is we're going to do the axle clean and press for reps.
Okay.
Got to throw a press in there. That's what I'm feeling. It's not going to be with wagon wheels. It's going to be just an axle clean and press for reps. You're going to clean and press every single rep. You're welcome.
Yeah. Right. Get ready. Cardio time. Yeah.
But it's going to be a progression with the events. So my next event, which I'm pretty excited about too, is going to be a sandbag carry into a Zercher yoke carry.
Sandbag carry to a Zercher yoke carry.
Yes.
Okay.
So one of the things that we had with last year is there wasn't any moving events out on the field. So I am building, not only do we have the 4 standard platforms, we're going to have 4 platform lanes out there. So we're going to be running 4 lanes out there of wood platforms with matting, everything out there, so that people will be moving. So you're going to see lane after lane after lane going.
If I was in the stands at home plate and your platforms, if those of you don't know, you had 2 down the first baseline and 2 down the third baseline. So those runways essentially then are going to project out towards the middle of the field.
You would think.
Okay.
I'm not going to give that away. I'll give away the events, but I'm going to make it look cool. I've played with that idea. I have like 5 different ways that I have it laid out, and I'm kind of leading into my group of people that I'm kind of laying this out. We're kind of all in division of how it's going to look.
Gotcha.
But we're going to have all 4 of those running lanes going along with the 4 platforms on the field. So
nice.
With that event, so what you're going to start is the sandbag down. You're going to pick the height. So at weigh-ins, you're going to pick the height of where you're going to pick up a yoke, Zercher, and you're going to carry the sandbag over the height that you have over that bar, whatever you picked at it. So however high, however low that you think you're going to have it, that's how high you're going to put the bag over, turn around, carry the yoke back.
Yeah, with that, and that's unique. I honestly don't think I've ever seen a Zercher carry before. If there was one out there, it's been a while.
Yeah, I thought about doing a standard yoke, and I was like, you know what? Let's put. I like it where you have to put a little bit more strategy into it. So
yeah, I love it.
Are you going to put the bar a little bit higher to make it a little bit easier to carry, or are you going to put it a little bit lower to make the sandbag easier to put over? Oh, and you're not going to get distance for the yoke. It's whether you finish it. So you're going to get points for finishing it.
So it's no distance, points only.
Yep.
Okay. Well, yeah, I love that event actually. I'm a big fan of Zercher squatting and Zercher holds. To me, I think that's gonna be a fun event to watch. Yeah, you're gonna separate those competitors like the Red Sea on that event.
Yeah. So the other thing that I'm going to do differently with this too is for novice competitors, they'll have unlimited drops with the Zercher.
Right.
The reason why I'm doing that is because a lot of them haven't done it, and maybe it won't be as easy for them to get a hold of yokes as they'd like to. So I'd like people to get out there and do that. With the open classes, you get one drop.
Right. Okay. One drop. Fair enough. That sounds good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. That'll be a quick moving event.
And so the next event that we have on there is going to be the max 18-inch deadlift for
Okay.
max 18-inch deadlift, and it's going to be the Wessel's rule, so the 3 attempt rule, and it's going to be for national record breaker.
Nice. Okay.
And I know of several people that are going to be trying to go for national records. One being, obviously, if we talk about him enough, Nick O'Hare. I know he's been wanting to pull over 1,000. So he currently holds the record, I think, at 198 at 9:55, and we had to talk him off the ledge and trying to go for 1,000.
So the max axle deadlift then?
It's it's going to be on a deadlift bar.
Oh, deadlift bar. Okay, so it's not an axle, deadlift bar. That's standard height.
18-inch.
Oh, you said 18-inch. Okay, that's right. Yeah, because he did mess around with that the other day for 1,000 pounds, didn't he? Yeah, I love that actually. That's great. Especially at 18 inches, that really changes the game a little bit. We're going to see some really big lifts. As we know, a lot of your competitors are perennial competitors, and we know a lot of them are big deadlifters. So that's going to be really fun to watch.
And you know what? What a great time to announce another sponsor.
Yes, go for it.
So the winners of the max 18-inch deadlift, and this is for every class, is going to be awarded a gift from our new sponsor, Liquid Death.
Liquid Death. Yeah.
Do you know who they are?
I do. Yes. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. That was one sponsor that I've been wanting to get for years, and I've kind of hounded them every year and finally got through to them. And I got through to actually like the one of the top guys, and they were like, oh yeah. So look for that progression for years to come.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So
that's fun. Yeah.
I'm pretty excited about that.
So you've got some nice sponsors you're tying into some of these different events. That's really nice.
Yep. So as we go into our next event, we're going to have the frame carry. So we're going to do a really heavy frame. It's going to be straight down, no turns, nothing. Heavy frame.
What are we looking at distance?
As of right now, I have it at 20 feet, and I know that seems short, but it's going to be a heavier frame deadlift. Yeah,
I love that event. It's an event that'll take the skin right off your hands. That's for sure. 20 feet seems like a mile when you're carrying a heavy frame. So yeah.
I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty excited to have that frame carry, and we're going to lead into our last event, which is another returning event from 2020, is the keg over bar for reps.
Okay, great.
So we'll have yokes out there, and then we'll have heavy kegs. You're going to go for reps till you can't go. The list of events are not particularly, might not be in that order come the event day, but those are the events that we have for that.
What about I want to ask you about that frame. Are you having that built, or is it something you've already got? You're getting from somewhere else?
So I already have the frames right now, and I'm going to leave that for when you get there.
Okay, good. Yeah, I'm assuming it's something special.
So the things about it too is I'm starting to back away from giving people too much information about equipment anymore.
Right.
And it's more so to go back on how we used to have it. I want that unknown. I think we've gotten too much to where people have been contacting everybody, and I can't say that I haven't done it. And I don't appreciate it. I shouldn't say don't appreciate it. I appreciate people reaching out and asking questions, but I want that to be just that little bit of excitement. What are we doing?
Yeah, just a little variable, right? Yeah, you know kind of what the events are. Don't go trade for them, and just be prepared for a little one-off.
And everybody's going to be doing it. So if it's affecting everybody, it's not even worth being a question.
Right. That's right. Exactly. Yeah. No, I love that. There's got to be these variables anymore. We have to make sure we keep guys guessing just a little bit. Plus, you don't like the fact that guys cherry pick shows because there's something there they don't want to do. So that
Yeah.
does keep that open-ended a little bit. Yeah, so those are the events for the amateur, all the way across the board, from your novice competitors, both men and women, all the way up until your master's class in both categories.
Yep.
Let me ask you this about the competitors of the amateur class before we move on to the world's end of things that you got going on up there. I know you've probably already been contacted by probably half of everybody that's competed last year, waiting for this announcement to come out. We're seeing a lot of familiar faces coming back, I'm sure. Have you talked to anybody outside the box that you know is going to be competing on a higher end amateur level?
I couldn't pick out one person that I talked to. I think this is the most interactions. I don't want to say heat, but I was like attention that I've had for any contest. And I'm excited to see some of these newer novice competitors kind of move their way up. There's one guy, name drop, that competed last year that did really well. His name was Travis Brown. I know you guys had taken some video of him, but he had that long hair and big old mustache, whatever. And I see the videos, and I just watching him get strong as hell. And it's like, all right, cool. Like, these are kind of the guys I want to see there. Amber was great. I'm hoping that she comes back again this year and owns TikTok again.
Yeah, right. No kidding.
And a lot of our staple competitors. I love that, Justin Blake, pro strongman, still comes and competes and still makes you earn it.
Yeah, he does.
Still places. Jake Harmon.
Now, is it true you got a crown waiting for Jake if he wins his fourth one?
Yes, that is true. I told him if he wins this the fourth time, I will get rid of the belt and it will turn into a crown.
Yep.
Because why even give it away anymore?
Yeah, I mean,
why even give it away?
You can't entice that guy any better with something shiny like a crown. I'll tell you, he may smash it with a sledgehammer, but it's you know what, Jake, I've said enough about Jake. It's time to get down to business. And Jake, just to let you know, I'm making my comeback at this show. Somebody's got to give you a run for your money. So I might have to steal that crown from him.
I want to see it.
I don't know. I'm joking. I don't have a clue where I'm going to end
up,
but I'm looking forward to it because that'll be my first show.
I would love to see every podcast after that with you, instead of having that hat on, you sitting there talking to Robbie with some ridiculous ass crown on.
Yeah, well, I would love that too. I'd probably retire after that, after I come back, and then I'll just retire after that show and call it good. So yeah, I know you got some great competitors coming up there, and that's always fun to watch. It might be the hairiest event in the world. I know what is the big brothers that were up there, the big guy
Erdman brothers.
Yeah, man, unbelievable. Maybe you get both those guys this year, huh?
Yeah, I've had him for the couple years prior, and then I know that Michael ended up qualifying for OSG, which those guys are brand new. I don't want to say brand new, but they're only a few years in, and man, those with the right training and dedication that they have right now, you're going to hear about them a lot.
Man-childs, both of them, seriously.
My wife asked me, she's like, because we have two boys, and she asked me, she's like, find out what their parents fed them, because I want two Erdman brothers.
Man,
I asked him, and he's like, it was a lot of mac and cheese and whole milk. So
yeah, it makes sense.
We got the kids down in Kraft right now.
Those guys are the American version of the Stoltzmans. They have a ton of potential. They could be fun to watch in the near future for sure.
And that's where it's coming back, where you're saying, where we talk about these being amateur shows, it's like, you're looking at these guys, they're not little guys, and that's how they got built up.
Future representation of a pro class is what you're looking at.
Very for exciting. Sure.
Yeah, we got a lot of guys that don't even make that jump because it just doesn't interest them, that deserve to be, at a higher level. Jake's one of them, of course. Erdman's, of course. There's Jake Harmon's another one, of course. There's a lot of big competition up there. I know those tend to be the fan favorites. It's always fun to watch these big, hairy guys throw around a lot of weight. But I think what's unique about your competition is you bring in this tremendous amateur class that often gives us a look at somebody we've never seen before, which is more exciting in my opinion.
Yeah, and just to kind of bring it back, is it's not even just the guys. Right. I mean, look at the females that we had last year.
Unbelievable.
And people know some of them too, like Emily Schnabel. I mean, she's a monster. She's a
Effortless
monster.
too.
She's like,
Effortless.
it's, I can't even, Scapitici. That's her
Scapitici,
last name.
yes.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
I'm like, it makes me rack my brain because it's like, okay, I'm putting weights together. I'm kind of consulting with people, on making sure that everything's kind of right. And then, you bring these two in, and then they're like, oh, this was a good warm up.
It was a
What else
warm
you
up for
got?
them. Honest to God, everything
And
they did, it was crazy.
I can't even, and then we got, Kat, Kat Zemecki. I can never say her
Yeah,
last name. I
yeah.
always just call her Kat. I take out extra insurance because of her. She about chopped her thumb off in her
Oh, man.
first Great Lakes.
Yeah,
All of our everybody. We have
yeah,
so many awesome competitors here, and that's why I said I want to see more. I want to see more events happening. The best thing that I had in strongman was in my best memories are not even really of the competition, but it was the time of getting to spend and pick brains,
yeah.
these people, and just having the friendships that we have. And like I said, that's why I turn around and look at Great Lakes. It's a big thank you for, the
Right.
past
Yeah.
15 years.
Yeah, the camaraderie is something special, and certainly you've brought Great Lakes up the way that a guy that lived that life wouldn't have done any differently. You've created an environment up there and an opportunity for these guys and gals to create this camaraderie in a special place every year. And whether you run into them again between now and then, it's like you haven't missed a beat. You run into them up there, and all of a sudden, just like I did with a lot of reconnections last year as well. So I loved it. Aaron's coming back. Have you talked to him?
I threw it out there for Aaron. He had put interest in there. I know with some of the judges, we're going to have, I can announce some of the judges that we'll
Yeah,
have there. We're
yeah.
going to have Dean is coming back.
Great.
So he's going to be a judge. We're also Sean
Sure.
Shoemaker, probably my wife's favorite person in the world, besides me.
He's an easy guy to love. That's for sure. Yeah,
Yeah. I what a great guy.
he is.
Like, and honestly, humble of the tremendous strength that he has, but just always willing to be there. And just he's helped me a lot out too with some of the events for Worlds too, and offered a lending hand there. But I didn't even get a chance to ask him. He's like, yeah, I'm coming back.
Yeah.
So he'll be there. I do have a couple more lines out to people, and I kind of haven't. I've kind of let the holidays kind of get through before
Right.
really bugging people about it. So we'll have more announcements as they come through. I'm very excited for Worlds because
Yes.
our lead judge for Worlds, and he's kind of going to be running that tentatively, is Steve Barkley.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
the
that's
man
awesome.
himself.
Yeah.
And
OG, man.
Yep. And then we're also going to have Willie Wessels.
Oh, so Willie's going to be there this year. Good.
So Willie is going to be there. He's actually going to be, he'll, in one way or another, he'll have a mic. He can't be there without having a mic.
Nope.
But he's also the reason why we're going to have, record breakers there for the 18-inch.
Right. Right.
So that's going to work out great. Yeah.
So let's talk about these pro events. I know you said you wanted to do something a little bit different to give the spectators some different visual. Is that still the plan? Is that what you're going to do? Throw a few different events in for these pros?
Yeah, let's see. Well, it's kind of funny because you have mentioned a lot of the events that you were hoping to see.
Yes.
I've watched a couple podcasts, and you had mentioned a couple events that you wanted to see. The whole time I'm sitting there, I'm kicking the wall, and I'm like, shit. I'm like, this guy's gonna ruin it for
Hey, it's a gift I have. I'm sorry, it's a gift
for what I have planned. So first event that's gonna come out for Worlds is we're gonna have the car squat.
Nice.
So
Yes.
it's going to be on the concourse right there. Everybody's going to be around there in the barricade and everything like that. So you're going to see these competitors squat cars.
That is great. Yeah.
Yes.
I love the use of that concourse for that. That is going to be such a spectacle. Wow. That's going to be awesome. So car squat, that's our first one. I love it.
Yep.
Love it. Of course, somebody's going to
And
say,
I
what
like,
kind of car? I'm sure you don't know, but I'm going to ask that.
well, oh, I'm gonna try and find the most glamorous car for
I
these
thought you
guys
would.
to.
Yeah, I was just
So
asking that because I know you're working on something big. Yeah.
so yeah, we have connections up here with some of
Yep.
the dealerships. So
Yeah, I'm sure.
I'm gonna make it interesting. And the next event is going to be the press medley.
Okay.
So we are going to have a press medley. So we'll have the circus dumbbell
Okay.
is going to be the first to
Pretty
press.
popular this year, it seems. Circus dumbbells
Yeah.
getting big again. Yeah.
Yep. We're going to have the circus dumbbell, which then is going to lead into a keg press.
Okay.
And then it's going to lead into the big dog log press. And that one's going to be for reps. So you're going to have your circus dumbbell, you're going to lift, press, get the down call, go next to the keg, press, get the down call. Then you're going to go to your log press, and that's for reps with what time you have left in a minute.
Yeah, yeah. And that minute starts at the log, or does it start at the dumbbell?
It starts at the dumbbell.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. Well, that's an interesting strategy there. Yeah.
Yep. So I kind of gone back and forth of like having you go through the rotation of the events, and I'm lucky enough, again, going down the line of the history of strongman in Michigan, is I have some JP's equipment on loan that's to Ron Schock. Ron Schock has it. And so we're going to be using some of that equipment there, especially his circus dumbbell. And if you've ever seen it, it's a 3-inch handle. It's what you would use in pros.
It's massive. So, yes. Yep,
yeah.
exactly.
And then his log, if you've ever used it or seen it, it's like lifting a true log.
Yeah.
And it's steel.
Yeah. None of the shit he's got is easy to move around. That's all I can say.
No,
none of it.
Which leads into my next event.
Yes.
Which is going to be Husafel stone carry for max distance.
Yeah.
And that was, as a kid, I loved watching like that Africa stone, like how they would take that and carry that for max distance. And I'm like, one of my competitions at a high level, I want to have it, and we have it. So the competitor is going to start with a 350-pound Husafel stone.
Yeah.
And carry it for max distance on the concourse.
On the concourse.
Yeah.
At some point you'll have a turnaround, or you're just going to try to run a straight concourse with that?
No, they're going to have a turnaround.
Okay.
So this is all going to be sectioned off, so that we're not worried about kids or anything going through there. Sure. And then that also leads into our sponsorship packages, because each event area is going to end up having their own sponsor for Worlds.
Yeah.
Too. So
yeah, of course. There used to be a Husafel in Michigan that was shaped like the bit.
Sorry.
No, that's okay.
Go ahead.
Do you remember that stuff, that Husafel that was shaped like the bit in Michigan that we used to have floating around?
Yeah, and I actually asked Barkley. I was like, "What happened to that?" Because I was actually trying to get. He started naming a list of people that it kind of went down.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it knows. I'm waiting for like an episode of American Pickers or something, and somebody finds that.
Yeah, I know.
In the back of somebody's barn. But yeah, I was actually trying to get one made, and because I had seen it, and I gave up on it. Yeah. I gave up on it for the price of what it was going to cost for me to have it made and done the way I want it done.
I thought you would probably try to find that bit one. It would be a perfect fit, but you're right. That's a historical piece right there. If anybody knows where that's at out there, contact George or me and let me know.
Yes. Let me know. We'll work something out. I want that back. I want that back in the mix. I want, and that's where I think it's cool to have these little roundtables and talking with people, and kind of, there's a lot of new people coming to sport, a lot of new people coming into sport. I mean, we talked about it, when you would look at an event and you had 30 competitors and you're like, holy crap, like this is stacked. And it's like, now you're seeing all these new people and there's a ton of rich history here, and a lot of cool events and things that people have done over the years that, they're good stories. They're really good stories.
And you want to share that with this new class coming up. You really do want to kind of connect the dots in history for these people a little bit. So, and now that we have that, it's fun to share, of course. I love hearing these old names like Spybrook and Barkley and West, and, going right on down the line. So, yeah, very fun. So that is the fourth event, right? We got the car deadlift, we got the press medley, we got the Husafel stone. That's the third one. In
Yep.
no particular order. What's our fourth?
Our fourth event is going to be the car deadlift. I
Okay.
figured,
Yeah.
what the hell? I have a car there. I have it out
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
If you're going to squat it, why not deadlift it?
Makes
So
sense.
we are going to change. We are going to change the kind of the hip hinge on there a little bit. So you'll be set up for the squat, and then once you
Yeah.
come back to that event, we're actually going to do, instead of side handle, we're going to do front bar.
Nice.
So you're going to
Nice.
pull like a regular deadlift.
Yep.
And then the last event, which I'm excited about, and as led to controversy in my end, is Atlas Stone series. So
yes. Yes.
we,
Thank you.
I feel like any true world's event has to end in stones.
I agree 100%.
Has to end in stones. So where I'm going to go with that is actually it was going to be, and I'm mentioning Willie in this, and I'm going to preface this in saying I absolutely love Willie Wessels. I've known him since 2007. Great guy. Been out, done a ton of events, everything with him, partied with him. Everything.
Yeah.
Great. And he's really, given me the keys to Worlds, and it's like, hey, let's see what you can do, and I'm excited about it. He gets all pumped up and everything. And so I had picked out the events for Worlds, and the one thing I wanted was stones at the end of it, Atlas stones. And so I ended up, the way it was going to be, was actually going to be a steel stone series.
Okay.
So it was going to be 5 steel stones.
Where the hell were you going to get those at?
I can't, I'm not gonna say what company that I was gonna get steel stones from.
Okay.
Because I had them on order for over a month.
Wow. Yeah.
And I was actually borrowing another one. I was gonna borrow another one from Sean. So it wasn't gonna be keg over bar. It was gonna be a stone series for Worlds, and then all the competitors for Great Lakes were gonna do steel stone over bar.
Yeah.
And I ended up giving all the events to Willie, and he's like, love them. Don't like the steel stones.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, don't like steel stones. They're not real stones. And I'm like,
He's got a point. He's got a point. Yeah.
A steel log is not a log. Like, and he's like, okay. He's like, no, can't stand them, whatever. And I was like super frustrated. I was like, we got to give me more than that.
Yeah.
And it led to me and him having a conversation later that night. And we're going back and forth on it and talking about it. And he's like, oh, I see what you're doing. He's like, I like it. And I was like, yeah, I really can't have tacky out in that field. I can't.
That's true. Yeah.
I can't have any tacky out there or anything. I don't want that. I don't want something as simple as that being, something that could keep us from coming back.
Right.
And he's like, yeah, let's go with it. He's like, I love it. I love everything that you picked out for it. He's like, kind of reminds me of America's Strongest Man. I don't know if it was 04 or something like that.
Yeah.
Literally 2 days later, I get an email from this company that I was getting them from, saying that my order was canceled and that they weren't going to be able to fulfill it. And I turned around and I'm like, man, he better not have, no, just kidding.
Yeah, right. Damn you. Yeah. So you're dealing with real stones, that is what you're saying.
Yeah. So he even, he'd even asked, he's like, do you want to do it without tacky? You can go lighter. And it's no, let's get it. Yeah. Like, I want to see these guys go after it. Yeah. We are the first place of each world event. Not only are they going to get the custom title belt, so they're going to get like the UFC, WWE level custom world belt. First place is going to get $1,000. Okay. Second place is going to get $500, and then third place is going to get $250. We also have Cerberus Strength is back on again this year, that they're going to be giving awards out to top podium finishers all the way through Worlds.
Yeah.
I am in discussion. I will mention the company just because I know that they will be involved in some way or another, but we're kind of going back and forth on how involved in there. But Venator is going to be back.
Okay.
Liquid Death also goes back through, as they're going to be, anybody that wins the deadlift, they're going to be getting a prize from Liquid Death, which is awesome.
Awesome. Yep.
Bookkeeping Solutions is back. We have High Five Threads, Forward Inking. Pixel Designs, a lot of these same sponsors that we have, and some new ones. I also have some discussions with some bigger companies right now that they're kind of waiting closer to the sign up date on
Sure.
on getting the response back. But I'm excited because it's going to branch us into other strength communities. That's going to lead to something bigger. My grand vision of
Right.
how I see this happening, and what opportunities are going to be out there for all strength athletes.
Well, knowing you, George, I already know that plan you've already seen 10 years ahead. So I know how methodical you are in putting these things together well ahead of time and how that you perceive things to fall. And there's certainly no doubt you're going to get there. The question I have about the prize money, real quick, did you say 1,500, 250 in each event for the prize money
So that's going to be for the world's
for the
competitors.
worlds?
Yeah. I would love, and that's where, down the road, I would like to see that happen with Great Lakes. I think right now with how much, and I think just scratching the surface of what that I have to put out there
Yeah,
for,
yeah,
just to make some of these events run, that it's everything that comes out of Great Lakes, every cent that gets into Great Lakes, and even in with Worlds, it's all getting put back into it.
yeah.
And the thing that I'm going to do is to make sure that everybody witnesses that. I don't I know there's a lot of discussions with promoters and about contests, and a lot of people have been talking, and I know you've had some, and I think what Anthony's doing
Yeah,
is absolutely amazing, especially with um, the Clash series. But raising $10,000 for prize money, man,
it's hard.
that's difficult.
It's
That's
difficult.
difficult. That's just getting the prize money, and that's not getting into your equipment, to what you're doing for your judges, all your competitors. And if you're coming to one of my shows, if you're going to come to Great Lakes, I'm giving back to you. So yeah, you're going to sign up for your event, but I'm going to give you things that you're going to go back home with and be
Right.
like, hey, I was a part of something.
Yeah.
And I hope that that's evident. And so it's a real big kudos to Anthony and everybody that he's had going along his series, be able to raise that money and everything like that for that, and put on these high level shows. And I'm trying to do the same thing. I'm trying to do the same thing at a amateur big level.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
say,
yeah. I would
you know,
agree, and you're doing it, George. You're doing it. It's happening for sure. I think the great thing about your show, I keep going back to it, outside of the pageantry and the organizational aspects of it and everything that you bring to it, it's just a great destination. It's a great opportunity for something different that's just not your typical, and take nothing away from these other promoters, these other types of amateur shows. This by itself, and I've said it many times, along with a couple others I appreciate, like out there. Derek Owens is another guy I like to point out that does a great show at the Battle Axe in Texas. Very similar to kind of way you try to pull your shows off. But it by itself, it sits on a pedestal. I love it. I think it's a show that's always going to be endearing to people every year, where it's always penciled in on the calendar first, and everything else is built in around it. Because there's no doubt that everything you're doing up there, it's top notch, brother. It's top notch.
well, I appreciate it. And, I appreciate you and Robbie, pushing it as much as you have, and not only just pushing that, but, pushing all these other events
Yeah.
that are going on, and the local competitors. I mean, hell, I just saw something. You guys are having John Anderson on.
Yeah, yeah. We just got John the other day. Yeah,
I
unbelievable. I mean, we're
I
blessed.
saw that. And I was just like, I was fanboying a little bit, because I
Yeah.
grew up watching him, and like that was what I wanted. I wanted to be Trap City like he was. I
Oh,
mean,
geez.
what a record that guy has. I mean, pro bodybuilder, pro wrestler, pro
Pro
strongman. I mean, he
strongman. Yeah, unbelievable.
did it all. Did it
I tell you,
all.
he's
I
such a
remember.
high energy guy. I'm almost afraid of that interview. John's a character, man. I mean, he's a cartoon
I
character. I mean, he really is.
I remember seeing him in those what's a MHP tank tops, and him like doing his crazy posing, and then turning on TV, because if anybody knows me, I'm kind of a closet wrestling dork. And I remember watching him for New Japan Pro Wrestling that he was on there. And I think at the time he had like bleach blonde hair. But yeah, I think he came out as the strongman or something like that. I think that's what his name was.
Yeah, I think it was.
Whatever. But yeah, but no, huge fan of everything that he's done over the years, and just to see him still be the level that he's at today.
Yeah. It's amazing, isn't it? The guy doesn't age at all. It's unbelievable.
No, and I think this is another thing that you're doing is, and I've watched some of the other, podcasts that you've had, is you're showing the level of intelligence and the level of dedication, and I think bringing a light, that's something different than people will kind of look at. People look at strongman or kind of look at lifters, and they don't see the amount of dedication and work and just the trials and everything that people have to go through to kind of build, them and master their craft.
Yeah.
And John's one of them.
Yeah.
Some of the smartest people, some of the most brilliant minds I've ever seen have come through strength sports. I mean, yes. I hosted a strength seminar back in 2017, I think it was 2016. And I had Mike Caruso. Do you know Mike Caruso?
Yeah, I do. Yep.
Yeah. We had Mike Caruso there, and I knew that he was smart. And it wasn't until I went to go take him to lunch, and he was in the car with me, and my wife's a microbiologist. I'm a nurse. And then my friend who else was in the car is a physical therapist. So he has a doctorate. And he's like, wait a minute, you guys are all medical. And we're like, yeah. He's like, cool. I can have some real conversation, and just starts spitting all these words out. And I'm like looking over at my wife, and I'm like, I don't understand a word he's saying.
He's just that going over everybody's head, really. No shit.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
was he a doctor or something?
Yeah, he has a PhD in like
unbelievable
molecular biology, something
figures,
crazy.
Right?
I think if you go on RP, I think it's like 2 pages long of all of his credentials.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. So kudos to you guys, really.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you
for bringing these people out and shining light on it. I mean, I always get excited every week to see, it's like, all right, who do they got now? Who's they got coming? Who's they got coming now?
Yeah, so, and one of our things is not to just, the John Andersons of the world are great, but so are the other side of it. These up and comers, these hard workers, these local guys, these people that just deserve a little bit of a credit for the amount of work they're putting in, and whether they ever get to the top or not, we can all certainly take something away from, like you just said, their commitment to training, their commitment to process and programming.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so
and congratulations on USAPL.
Yeah, how fun is that? Yeah, sure. Why not?
That's super cool. And that's something that there's somebody that we actually had, it's Caluso, right?
Yeah, Caluso. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. They actually held a powerlifting meet at the gym that I used to be at, CrossFit Due North.
Yeah, I was there actually. Yeah. I had met you before then, but
I was not there then. I had to work that weekend, and then I had Great Lakes over at Jacob's Farm.
Yeah.
But they're definitely somebody that I want to get in contact for and kind of see where that let's mix minds and let's make something special.
Yeah, I don't think you have a problem working with Gina and her crew. I mean, you should do that. Yeah, they're definitely good people, and always looking to promote just like you are. So, well, hey George, Is there anything else that you want to add to our conversation before I let you go here today on a I guess not for you, but for me, kind of a snow day?
Hey, I'm excited. I'm excited to say for once that Traver's winter weather is better than it is downstate.
Downstate, yeah.
No, I just would like to take time just to really thank, everybody that has reached out, all the competitors, all the sponsors, everybody that's reached out ahead of time to find out more information. Trust me, as excited as you are, I'm 10 times more excited than you are. I don't care. I can say that with confidence.
Yeah.
I have watched Great Lakes Strongest Man 2022 400 times already.
Yeah.
And I'm only going to watch it even more. And I have quite a few months left.
Man, don't we? I mean, this is almost a teaser, George. This is too much, honestly.
I'm excited about it. I mean, it's going to build, but I want to say a quick thank you to USS Strongman. I mean, for what they're doing and the moves that they're making, especially now.
Yeah.
Kudos to Willie and the crew that he has. But he's always been about the athletes. I feel
Yes.
that way
Yep.
and confidently. He's really helped me be able to build something that I've always wanted to do. It's always been a dream of mine to have a really, high level competition, and he's only been helpful throughout the way.
Yeah.
So true kudos to Willie and everybody as involved. John Albrecht, Steve Barkley. I mean, I can talk about him for days. Sean, everybody. Other thing to announce out there too is if you're looking into USS World, also check out USS
Okay.
Women's World, which is going to be in Atlantic City with Liz D'Amato. She actually runs Clash of the Trident. I was actually signed up for it last year, and I kind of mentioned to you before that my wife was ready to divorce me if I did anything else. I think I booked up every single weekend and
Yeah.
everything I've
Yeah.
done
I can imagine. Yeah.
after having a newborn. She said absolutely not, and I'm hoping that I can make it out there again. I hope I can make it out there this year, but she has it right in Atlantic City, in a beautiful hotel in the middle of our beautiful convention center, right in the middle of an expo.
What is that
And
again?
she's run. Uh, what is it? Clash of the Tridents.
What date is that? Do you
It's
know?
in. I want to say it's
October.
October.
I'll
Gosh,
look it up.
it's in October. I want to say it's the second weekend in October.
Okay.
Um, but she's gonna be running Women's World there, so definitely check that out. If not for the Women's World aspect, that's another one of those destination
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
competitions. If you're gonna make the trip, I've actually been talking with her, and her and Mike Rosonis, phenomenal promoters.
Yeah.
I mean, they do Pennsylvania and New Jersey, and I'm every year. I mean, I couldn't imagine. I was going to do one more competition this year. I was going to host another competition this year, and it kind of fell through. And it's something that's going to come down the line. I'm excited about it, but it's got to be perfect. It's got to be perfect in order for me to put it on.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's going to be coming down the line. But they put on, I think, like 5 or 6 competitions a year.
Oh.
And are very heavily involved. And I mean, you could see it with everything that's going on in those states. So if you get a chance,
Okay.
check out Clash of the Trident and Women's World. But besides that, just stay connected to Instagram. That's where you're going to get your big updates.
Yep. Yep.
I try to be almost obnoxious with how much I put out there to kind of get people up and informed. Again, we're going to have signups are going to go live at 11 a.m. on Iron Podium on Valentine's Day.
Yep. Okay.
So if your woman or your man's looking for something for you to get for Valentine's Day, just say, hey, honey, I want to be signed up for Great Lakes and have a good time. So
get a hotel room and spend the weekend in Traverse City. So
go wine tasting. You can go wine tasting, all the hikes and beautiful things that you can be doing up here.
Man. Yeah, I'll be sure to put that out myself because I'm a big fan of Traverse City. As you know, it's my second home. So I'll be sure to make sure to give Traverse City as much hype as possible lead around that show because I know we're going to enjoy another long weekend up there. And I got more family coming up to spectate the show and be a part of it with you. So in the meantime, any new updates we'll get from you, we're going to help you promote this show in the future. But I'm going to go ahead and make sure that we get out clippets of this and all this information, here in the next couple of weeks. And I can't wait to hear this buzz when it starts, George. And I appreciate you having a go around with me here today. I really do.
I appreciate it. And again, congrats on everything that you have going on. Congrats on the Gym Life Media and everything you got going on. You're breaking up a little bit. I think that's your winter storm that you have going through there that I don't have right now too.
Yeah.
But no, it's always a pleasure talking with you guys. You guys are always guys are family, man. Yeah. I'm so excited to have you guys there. I'm excited to in what facet that you guys are going to be there.
We'll figure all that out. We plan on doing the same thing. Even if I compete, we're going to do the same thing.
I want to get something set up a little bit better for you guys. Not that I didn't like the dugout, but I have a couple ideas.
Yeah.
So
we'll talk more about that. In the meantime, let's get these competitors excited about what you got coming on because they got about 8 months to get ready for it. And that should give everybody plenty enough time to get the logistics down for this show.
Yeah, and I think with the events that they had, they're going to need those 8 months. So
I think you're right. I think you're right. We're gonna have some
good
fun
luck.
talking about them.
Yeah, good luck training. Good luck. Stay safe. Stay healthy. It's great
Yeah, you
talking
too,
to
man.
you.
Yeah, you too. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, take care, man.
Thank you, man.